Hour of Power. This is Your Solution podcast with Coach Jim and Coach Santos out of Stockton, California. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes. This is one of the most dedicated, specialized times for you and I, for us, to regather, optimize, plan, and go forward. Remember, gambling's a lie. You're here because you're looking. We're going to support you. We're going to provide a solution. We're going to come to a solution working together. So once again, get inside, click it or ticket, turn down all distractions, make sure that you grab a pen, and did you invite a friend? Coach Santos, I'm going to see you on the inside.
Wow, what an introduction from a couple years ago. Welcome to another live podcast, number 335. I believe I am Coach Santos out of Stockton, California. Welcome from around the world. No need for another introduction because I think Coach Santos did a pretty good job there. So welcome. Let me, oops. All right. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. Wonderful text there. All right. Welcome in. We are live, and it looks like we are broadcasting via Facebook, YouTube, and I believe we're broadcasting soldiersofselfmastery.com. So, yeah, we're on a journey. Today we have, once again, I'm not going to repeat the introduction, but I do have my POI pad today and my pen. So I hope you do too. Welcome, 2024. This is podcast number 335. We're going to talk a little bit here. I hope to get your interaction. Out of time. Excuse me, I just drank some water and I think I had to. Out of time, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let me see. Do I have everything set up? Yeah, I was having some chair issues and some microphone issues, but I think we're good. Let me double check. We're good, right? Oh, and Jim's on here. I just see Jim there. We'll bring Jim in a minute here. So yes, this is our environment for peace and wisdom and solution finding for action taking. That's why we're here. We're going to talk just a little tiny bit about this journey that you are on today. We've just crossed a milestone, right? The year 2024. We've got a proverb out of Ephesians. I'm really excited to read that because I'm going to dig a little bit into the spiritual world, maybe the spiritual nature of humanity, a little bit, just a little bit. Call to action, little call to action. And then we've got Jim, Coach Jim out of Tucson. I was going to say Phoenix, Arizona. Actually, not Phoenix. I was doing something for Phoenix, Arizona. He's out of Tucson. So we got Coach Jim, Teacher Jim, Businessman Jim with us on the podcast. Please, 45 minutes is going to go by very quickly. All right. Let me, before I bring Jim on here, let me see, add to the, let me read this to all of us that are here, just with me here. All right. Just let me read this and then we're going to get into the broadcast. I'm glad you're here. Okay. This is the place, right? This is on this journey you travel alone or in a tribe, right? Family, community, etc. Some cargo goes with you. Luggage holds it. So every year you continue in with this wonderful journey. Now, we're going to get into your luggage. Actually, I want you to think about your luggage, right? Because you just crossed a milestone. Right, Jim? We've just crossed a milestone. And whether we want to admit it or not, we're carrying, in fact, some of us might be carrying physical luggage, right? Physically, we might be people that live in a car. They're carrying their physical luggage. But we're talking about life. We're talking about spirituality, emotions. We're talking about thoughts and habits. And by the way, gambling is a lie. Let's start the year, right? Reminding ourselves that gambling is a lie. Moment to moment, life changes. Hello, welcome. So there's a few people here. I don't know. I see a little bit of crowd here. Maybe they're overseas on another. But those of you to hear. And by the way, I believe it was out of time. Uh, I want to give a shout out right now. Thank you for that donation that you gave on the last. I believe it was out of time. You gave a donation, whether small or big, it's all appreciated. And you on the other side are appreciated too. Come on now, feel appreciated. All right, Jim. Oh, Jesse, welcome. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, Santos, I'm on my phone. I don't know if I'm coming in clearly or not.
A little bit of staticky. Maybe you might have to talk a little bit slower. That might work. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. My internet is down in my house.
Oh, okay.
Having problems. So if it's bad, I might have to cut off.
Yeah, you can. If you can, yeah, it sounds a little scratchy. But we'll see what we can do. If nobody complains, maybe we can work through it. But if I put my hand up, I'll say, then you'll know. Oh, it's like we're scratching the blackboard or the whiteboard, kind of thing. All right, so folks, we may be here for a little bit. Who knows? Maybe 30 minutes. I do want to remind us that we're carrying luggage. You're carrying luggage. You've carried some luggage. Samsonite. I don't know what other brands out there. There's different brands. I think about Samsonite because it reminds me of the OJ commercial. Indeed, you're going through life with some kind of luggage. Give you a moment to think about that there. Jim, if you got a thought, feel free. Let me see. I got a question in here. Thank you.
I was just thinking about what's today's date. Today's the 7th. And
a birthday. Yeah.
One out of 52 weeks done, right? So what happened this week? I think it's a good idea to do some reflection about what happened this week and see if we're on track, because sometimes we can just, go like a zombie, and get into our old ways instead of kind of looking at what we need to do, what we promised ourselves, what we would do at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. It really, it has a lot to do with what we're carrying. I heard a story about this guy that was carrying some bags, and there was another guy that came along the road and he offered to trade his little bag for the big bag, and the guy didn't want to trade. I think maybe it took him a couple of times down the road, and finally the guy decides to change the bag. He goes, yeah, I guess these bags are kind of heavy. So he trades them for the little bags, and the little bags, they're full of goodies and stuff, and the big bags are full of rocks and just garbage stuff, dragging around all his life. And I'm probably not doing justice to this little parable type thing, but the gist of it, I guess, is we are carrying luggage. And if you're not, looking at the contents, right? If you're not looking at, you don't necessarily need new luggage. You might think, well, man, I got to get rid of my luggage. No, you don't have to get rid of your luggage. You might have good luggage. You just need to work on content. All right, got a question here. Yeah, Jim, it's a little bit scratchy. So I'll if you got something that you want to share, you can type it, and then we could try to discuss that. Because if you do a lot of scratching, it's just going to really And again, Jim, you've been a good support here. You're welcome to, if you need to leave, if you feel uncomfortable, because I can understand it is kind of scratchy. So, hey, you got my support, whatever you want to do. We're going to be here. I'm going to be here for another 35 minutes. I'm going to dig. I'm going to create. I'm going to invent in here for the next 35 minutes if I have to. That's why we're here, right? We're here. This is the hour of power hour, right? Peace, wisdom, and solution finding for the problem gambler and the victim. But the victim is not the victim, right? We don't go around saying, hey, I'm a victim. No, actually, you're a victor. You are a victor because you've come through. So we're here for people that are gone through the problem gambling, the trauma. You're going through some trauma and you need traction, man. So solution finding, that's what we're here for. Let me get into the proverb real quick. Ephesians chapter 4, one of my favorites. And then we're going to look at this question here. We got a question. I'm going to be looking at the hey, Eric, welcome. So I'm going to get to the proverb here in a minute. Question: I enjoy gambling, but I've always ended up losing a lot of money. Let's stop right there for a moment. By the way, great question. Thank you for asking. I know Jim would be all over this right now. But question: I enjoy gambling. I enjoyed it too. I'll be honest. I did enjoy it up to a certain point. I did enjoy the lights. When you walk into the place, there's, you're in Mars. You're at Venus. You're in Saturn. Might as well be, because you're in a world away from a world. But again, you're sharing here moment to moment. You're losing a lot of money. Think about that for a moment. Now, some people, we can lose money. We do lose money. It doesn't hurt. It's when it begins to hurt. Now, I'm not advocating gambling, right? I can't say, but I will say this. If a person is disciplined in the mind enough, but again, you have to go through that in and of itself is a journey where you can get so strong inside your head, focused, if you will. The FTs are no longer bothering you. The LBs, the limiting beliefs, the focus thieves, the FTs. And you can walk into a casino and you can walk out, win or lose. That is a power that we all have, to be honest with everybody here. The problem is that we're also addictive by nature, and there is a shadow. There is a sinful nature about you that if it's not tamed, it will lead you into some kind of abyss of sin and darkness and secrecy, because you don't want people to know what you're doing. Again, I'm not here to really preach to you, but you want to think about what you're doing with your money, right? You want to think about that. So I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get too personal here. I could, because I've been there myself. You got to focus on the money, right? Now, you like to gamble, you're being honest about it. You got to find a medium, because if you don't find a medium, you're going to continue to lose a lot of money. And then you'll start to lose yourself. Or is it, do you start to lose yourself first and then the money? Right? Like the tomato or the tomato. Either way, it's not, gambling is not for the addictive nature person that realizes, man, I've had some close calls in my life and now I'm gambling. Red flag. All right, by the way, I'm looking for your questions. Thank you. Right below is the website. You're welcome to go there. There are tools. There are digital programs, there's support, and most of it is even free, no cost to you at all, just a little bit of your time. Now, I didn't say all of it was completely free, right? We have books, we have a few things tools that we support. This is Ephesians chapter 5. It says, "Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children." This is the proverb for today. Again, episode number 335. Today is 7th of January, the year 2024. "Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love." This is Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1, 2, 3, and 4. As Christ has loved us and has given himself for an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness and covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. We all do this. By the way, we all partake in these kinds of things, whether you do it ignorant, like they say, white lies, or we all do it. We all fall into this. It's just sometimes we don't even see it at all. It says neither filthiness nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. You know, the spirit of grace and the spirit of thankfulness and a thankfulness attitude is an individual that is constantly monitoring what comes out of the mouth, because we slip very with the mouth, man. It's like sometimes we fall into an oil slick and we just go down, 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 man, with your own mouth. And again, that could be part of the luggage that you're carrying, or the content that you're carrying in your luggage might be a whole negative self-talk, right? That could be luggage. Not luggage, but that could be content. And again, we're coming into this hour of power here. Let's look at the luggage. I mean, do you want to look at your life? Do you really want to do that? That's what we're here for. We're here for finding solutions. All right. Oh man, he did it again. There we go. Thank you for that. I appreciate you for doing that. I really do. Thank you for giving. It all goes towards support. So thank you for that. Yan, let me. Losing money is just one part of gambling. Losing your family or friends is way worse. Yeah, that's what happens. It's either you start losing yourself, and part of yourself is family, right? That's connected to you. I know Jim's got some thoughts. I can see the wheels turning in Jim. I'm going to give him an opportunity here to share. What are you carrying in your luggage? You know, what kind of content are you? Some people don't even want to look at their luggage. They came here. What? These guys are talking about luggage? I'm out. I don't want to look at my luggage. I tried to peek into I can't even get into my luggage. I lost the key. Come on in here. We'll find one. By the way, Yan, Patry, thank you for visiting. I'm not seeing you here before, so make sure that you guys subscribe. I appreciate that. Let me see, Eric, Race. Who else is with? Oh, Bill is with us tonight. Go ahead, Jim.
I don't know. Is it any better, Santos, or is it still scratchy?
Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
It's a lot better. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I cleaned my
better.
microphone and got the app. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I was thinking about why we don't change. Why is it so difficult? And I'm thinking about when the responsibility is on our shoulders, sometimes that's something that's difficult to execute. When I had accountability, with other people, immediate accountability, I moved. I actually got myself out and active, even though it wasn't very comfortable, because there were, other individuals expecting me to perform, to follow through, and there would be consequences. If I didn't do my job, if I wasn't there, I'm letting people down. so it might be a good strategy to find. I think you talked about it before, an accountability partner. And you talk about coaching, right? That's an accountability, a partner right there. Someone to kind of put your feet to the fire. I mean, I think you got to be kind of creative, because we can weasel our way out of certain situations where
Yeah.
it's not really accountable. We don't really have accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to be facing your addiction and say that this is time for me to get serious about it, sometimes you got to be a little bit humble and let other people know that you got a problem, you know, and, but, the nice thing about that is that if you do admit to us a particular problem, there are people who will help you. They'll go out of their way to help you, I believe, because, you're humbling yourself. You're saying that, I have a problem and I need help, and that's the first step. And I think a lot of people bend over backwards to go and help you. But yeah, I think accountability is really important. I mean, it's something that's very difficult to do alone,
Yeah.
very difficult to do alone.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Change. Change requires. I believe change requires others. Uh, and again, we're talking about, like luggage. We're talking figuratively, the luggage that we're carrying. Every year we get to carry some kind of luggage into the new year, right? Some people make these plans. New Year's, I call them New York resolutions. I don't call them New Year's resolutions. I call them New York resolutions. And we all fall into this. Bill, moment to moment, out of time, Laura, Eric, myself, Jim. One of the key things is that you have to get tools. You have to get some things in your life, right? One place that you can come to that I believe is a good zone here, a solution zone, is right here. Because the key thing is, we're talking about these struggles, but if we're not paying attention, like if you're here, man, I'm grateful that you're here, right? I'm grateful that you're here. I believe that you should have a POI pad, point of interest pad, if when you come here, because you're here, you're asking questions, and that's great, but you don't want to stop there. You have to take that. Okay, maybe that question you're asking is not good enough, right? If that's not the right question that you should be asking, what is the right question? The right question can unlock for you a mystery, and have you taking action in no time, if indeed you're seeking, right? If you don't look at the luggage, if you don't like the contents within when you're traveling, right? You're on a journey, you're traveling. And the luggage that you carry does make a difference, because sometimes in life you got to get rid of the luggage that you're carrying, right? When you go on an airplane, sometimes they get tossed around. You sometimes you lose luggage. You If you're not looking at the contents within, if you're not looking at what needs to be discarded, if you're not buying new stuff to put into your luggage, buying or acquiring, there's got to be some new stuff as you go along this journey, right? When you're on a journey, I mean, I don't know how far you can get on, if you're walking down the road, how many miles you can go without things, without stuff. You can't get far. And right here, this environment right here is a good place to do inventory. Oh, come on, Santos. Man, the simplest thing, right? I think about the simplest thing right here, carrying luggage, and it makes a big deal, because again, if you're not looking at what you're lugging around, somebody else might see what's inside your luggage. They point it out to you. You may not like it. And sometimes that happens, Jim. Somebody else points out what's in your luggage.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Very.
this luggage. Yeah, I mean, If you think about it, it's like we like to go and carry around reasons to be a victim. You know, we lug around reasons to be a victim. And I think we do that as an excuse, an opportunity, a failsafe, um, so that we don't have to venture into anything new. Reasons to be a victim, carrying around these reasons. Well, you know what? I'm going to fail because I'm just not good enough. I'm going to fail. I just don't have it in me.
Yeah.
I just don't have it in. I'm a victim to myself. It's like other people can do it, but I'm different. I just can't. You know, that's carrying around some luggage right there, Santos.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you
And
get rid of that stuff? How do you get rid of those excuses, those reasons to be a victim and stay the way you are, because that's weighing us down, man, from
how,
changing.
how, how, right?
How?
Well, you have to create environment. Number one, you got to have, right. If you take a pig and you keep them in the mud, man, that pig is going to love it, right? Get muddy and stuff inside the ears, probably eat mud. But if you take a pig and you put them in a nice clean area, generally that pig is going to stay clean. It will stay clean if you train, you kind of move. Environment.
The pig
So
likes it, right? It grows to like that environment, gets
even in the
used to
home,
that.
you see these pigs that live with people and they're clean. I'm like, man, we used to have, I lived on a farm and we had huge pigs. We had chickens. We had big chicken farms that we would get the little chickens and make them big. And then the trucks would come and take them. And I remember as a little boy, we would walk in there and grab all the dead chickens and we would run them over to the pig pen. It was dropped underneath. They were big hogs. And we would throw the chickens in there. And all I could hear was crunch, crunch, bones and feathers and everything. And I've always had the idea that pigs were pigs, man. You throw a human being in there with blood hanging and guts, they'll eat him up, but it's not the case. You know, there's wild boars too. You can't kind of tame those. Maybe you can. Environment. The problem gambler has to, and the environment that I'm talking about is not just this environment. I'm talking about your mind. Your mind is the ultimate environment. Would we agree with that? This is where you're carrying, right? This is the luggage, right? This is the carrier inside, right? Your bones, your muscles, your cells even have memory. Would you believe that? All of these things that we take for granted, we don't even think about. Well, it's only my brain that remembers. No. Bones, cells in your body. We get this stuff called, what is it, scar tissue. Man, your body remembers all of this stuff that goes on. You and I, we must work on, again, we may have to discard some stuff, open that, you might need some help. Jim was talking about that, right? You may need, hey, you may need a good counselor, right? You may need a good therapist. You may need a good doctor, or you may need a coach. I was talking to somebody a while back, and he was a gambler in trouble, and he was telling me that he had spent this money on therapy and on counseling, and he said the counselor that did nothing because that person really didn't know. First of all, it wasn't even a gambler. He was just an addiction counselor, so he's treating that. You have to change environment. You have to go, where it kind of reminds me of the famine in the time of Genesis in the Bible. They sent the brothers turned Joseph over, and he went ahead of them to protect them in a dark. I'm getting out of hand there. My point is environment. Joseph did go ahead of the children and he did provide sustenance. He was able to give the wisdom to the people there where he got sent. Even as a slave, he was able to perform peak performance in that environment. Of course, God was with the guy. He believed in God God was with him, and mercy and grace operated. And he was, not to say that he didn't suffer, though. Oh, he rose up in superiority in command, but that came with a lot of pain and hurt, unfortunately. Yeah, and that's what happens. It's just part of change. All right, I think I'm so that's what I would say for someone. I'm grateful that you're here, and you got to ask yourself, why did you stumble in here, right? Why, or maybe not the word why. I shouldn't say the word why, but what is it that you're coming here for, and what is it that you can possibly get for this hour that you could take with you for the week? You got to come in here with that, right, Jim? What can I take out of here? Yeah, and I'm coming in here. What can I take out of here for the week? This is a think tank.
Yeah, we need to start kind of this forum. This particular program helps us start asking questions, start reflecting, start doing some analysis. You talk about environment. It's like, who are we hanging around? You know, is it lightening our luggage, or is it adding more of what we have and
Yeah,
weighing us down even more?
yeah.
Are we associating ourselves with people who continuously bring us down, who do nothing but add stress to our lives, who provoke us?
And they are in environments. Sometimes you can avoid environments, right, Jim? Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you might have a sale with a person. You might sell one of your products to a person, and man, you didn't even know. You got into this person, and maybe he, like me, I'm extremely picky. But I've learned. I'm just extremely picky. I'm an engineer by mind, by trade. So you get people like that, and then they have a bad attitude, and it's like a double whammy. And you get into situations like that. And I'm not saying that we can avoid all those. You're not, but we have to know exactly where we stand in situations like that.
It's also very subtle too, because it's like, you know, if you are a negative thinker, you know, and you go onto YouTube and you start watching the news and you start watching these channels,
Hmm.
and it just adds to your baggage right there. I mean, there's a lot of other sites. There's like gambling sites, videos. There's like what else is there? Just porn. All that kind of stuff. I mean, like there's environments that the mind gravitates towards, and it
Yeah.
continuously adds to that baggage. You know, and here our job right now is to start becoming aware of where our focus is, because our focus is going to either add to the weight of that burden that's
Yeah.
on our back, right? Or it's going to help lighten it or replace it, like you said, with something that's going to help us grow stronger and help us beat this addiction that we're facing.
Yeah,
So,
because some people are fighting. Some people are actually fighting to hold on to the old crusty luggage. They'll fight you.
mhm.
They've got a crusty luggage. You can tell there's stuff seeping out of it. In fact, there's an odor already in the luggage. But
that,
yet
that, that it's
they're
it's
they're,
the devil that they know, right? The devil that they know, right,
they're gonna
is
fight
better
you.
than the devil that they don't.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
it's
don't touch
my
my luggage. Get away from my luggage. You
Mhm.
know?
Right. I know it stinks, but it's my luggage, and I'm familiar with it. I
Yeah.
know how to handle this luggage. It's comfortable. You know.
Yeah. You don't have the key, but you know how to open it.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's the
So,
reality of us. And as we come into the new year, again, you have to know what contents are within. You must know. If not, you could be like those two guys that were traveling, the one guy that was traveling, he was all bent over. I mean, he was already, the weight of what he was carrying in his bag was probably giving him scoliosis of the back. The guy was walking down the road, and his sandals were already gone. He's got no shoes left. He's got a heavy load. Can you see this guy? And then this little guy comes along with a smaller bag. He seems to show up every once in a while. He's got the little bag. The bag isn't that really good looking, but it's a little bag. And it's something unusual about that bag. And he's offering it to the guy with the big bag. But the guy with the big bag doesn't want, because it's more heavier. He's got more. At least he thinks. Self-deception, right? The cares of life, gambling, money problems, or money bonuses. You just got more money from somewhere. Whether you have money come in or money go out, it can be a problem either way. So here's the man. Can you guys see this guy carrying the bag? He's got a huge bag. It probably looks really nice too. Maybe it glows in the dark, right? Could glow in the dark. But he's all hunched over. He's pretty bad. He's in bad shape. So finally he comes to the guy again, and he offers him the bag, and he says, "Hey, let's trade." The guy says, "Man, I'm tired. Yeah, let's trade." The guy has gold in the bag, and the guy has like coal, rocks, little pebbles and stuff in the bag. And he says, "Man, what is this? What is this? I must have missed that class January 7th of 2024 with Coach Santos. The what we're carrying into the luggage we're carrying. I must have missed that class. But I'm grateful that you showed up, man. Here, you can have it all. I'll take your little bag." Right? What's in the little bag that you could trade? Wisdom, peace, more money, maybe an ally, right? Somebody that you can bring into your life that will help you in some way, somebody that you can trust, man. Somebody that respects you. Isn't that, the neat thing to be able to have somebody that, and those are rare. Those folks are rare. When you find, hey, protect that as much as possible. That's going to add to your luggage, right? That's going to add the good stuff to your luggage. That's going to add the good to the inventory. The new stuff that you need to be carrying into the new year. And by the way, we're already headed towards 2025. And gambling is a big, fat lie. But it goes back to the root. What is the cause of the gamble? Man, I want to stop gambling. Oh, I have such a hard time. How can I create new vision for myself? How? Here's one of my best solutions. Come here on Sundays. Come here on Sundays and put on your thinking cap. We're going to be doing come here on Sundays for 45 minutes and put on your thinking cap. Did I repeat myself twice? Yes. So we're going to be doing, I think we're going to be doing a special interview. I believe Coach Cephas is going to be interviewing me live on Wednesday via StreamYard. I believe it's going to work. I don't know what he's got, but we want to invite you, be with us. You can join the panel or whatever. And I want to be challenged to the maximum. When I start bleeding, then I'll say stop. No, I'm just joking. When I start bleeding, that's when it begins. So we're going to be doing that. And we've got, again, be sure to check out the link below, soldiersofselfmastery.com. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Always a like when you can. Always a like when you can. A thumbs up. A comment when you can. Support others. Support yourself. And when you can give, listen, I don't care if it's $2 or 25,000 or 2 million. I'd rather have 10 million. Whatever you can do, support this if you feel supported. And I appreciate, the the donations. Again, only if you or when you feel supported. All right, Jim, we're coming down to the call to action here. We didn't forget the 7-day challenge. All right, the 7-day challenge. All right, go ahead, Jim. I'm gonna look through the name here, and we're winding down to the. But go ahead, share what's on your mind. Again, if I've answered a question and you don't feel like you've got, come on, push me. Hey, Santos, can you tell me a little bit more? Can you dig deeper? Again, we could do that here as much as possible, but go here, go down there. Get your shovels, get your guns, get your armor, your battery packs, your chargers right there. soldiersofselfmastery.com, man. Go to the source, right? I'm doing it. If you want to talk to somebody about who's living free from gambling and understands the trauma and all those things, well, maybe there is somebody better, but I'm number one problem gambling interventionist because I was number one loser. So today I can declare that I'm number one interventionist. I was number one loser. What are you going to label yourself? What are you going to put in your luggage for this year? What are you going to slam in there? Bang, open up rip that luggage open, that Samsonite, throw some karaoke in there. All right, so I'm looking for more questions. Jim, go ahead and share. I know you got something you want to bring up here.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just thinking about strategies. You talk about luggage, baggage, the weight. I think a good activity would be, get some index cards or some pieces of paper and start writing down all the baggage, all the trash that you're carrying around. Okay, gambling could be one. Problem gambling. Okay, write that down, but then brainstorm. Kind of do some association. Well, why do I have problem gambling? It's associated with something, right? Could it be relationships, poor relationships that I have with someone else? Could be certain triggers. Is it my anxiety? Do I have anxiety? Why do I always go do this casino? What's going on? Write it down, right? And start writing down all these things that tie into this horrible addiction. And you make this big pile and it's visible. You can go and see, look at all this trash that I need to go and clean up, that I need to go ahead and move out of my life, right? It's in front of your face. Now you start thinking about, okay, how am I going to tackle these things? What am I going to go and start doing, right? Put it in a bag, right? Go through them, and start making maybe another bag. It's like, well, what are some possible ways I can go ahead and confront, attack, and take down some of these loads that are weighing me down, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like journaling, right? It's more maybe like a hands-on activity, right? But I mean, for people who don't have much hope right now, who are just so full of despair, picking up that pen, getting some paper, start writing down some of these things, start doing some self-analysis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I often wonder why we have books with so many words in them. I used to think, this is environment. When I go into this book, I'm creating an environment here. When I go into this book, I'm creating an environment. In fact, every time I go into this book, I say, man, I should have put that instead of what I put in there. I should have wrote this. So you go through here. It's like this one book, you can change things and make it your own. It's like, this is an unusual book that I put together. But it does. Even just, I'm going to read a little bit of it before we end the broadcast. In the back, want to share. It's a tool. It's a little tool. You can carry it with you. And now you can even have this on your phone audio. You can actually listen to it in audio. So you don't even have to read it. You can just listen to it in audio. You want to get some wisdom inside your head. You want to get some PNGZ, permanent no gambling zone, inside your head. Listen to this in audio in the background while you're driving or while you're cleaning the toilet or whatever. Or if you do the yard, you can put earbuds or whatever. You have to work, right? Like Jim is saying, you have to take action. We took action to be here. I hope that we didn't waste our time by coming here. But by the way, I'm not sure who it was. I'm looking through the comments and there's quite a bit. There's been a nice audience here. I appreciate all of you. Next topic that we're going to talk about is how to build vision. You want to learn how to build vision. And of course, we've shared some here, but we're going to get in depth next Sunday. Okay. How to break it down. And if you want to be here Sunday, you want to build vision, you truly want to build vision, be here next Sunday. We're going to break into this. How? Okay. We're not just going to talk about it, but how. Okay. And I hope that you'll participate, because the more you participate, the more you'll learn, the more I'll learn, and the better it gets. But if I sit up here and preach to the crowd, you guys will get a little motivated, and then, Santos is a good speaker, but when you guys leave, the FTs come back, the LBs come back, what have you, instead of your good life is going to come out of a good series of positive reminders, it's going to be your bad life is going to come out of because you're getting a bunch of negative reminders. Let me not go overboard. So next, episode number 336, we're going to do how to build vision. And hopefully I'll learn something in that too, as we dig into that, how to build vision. Because when you have vision, it does make the world of a difference up here, right? It gives you a picture. Right, Jim? When you have a vision, imagine when you were starting out and you were going to become a teacher, you didn't start out becoming a teacher. You had to go through some obstacle courses to get some degrees and stuff. So you had some kind of vision.
That's right. That's right. You have to have goals. You have to have, idea. All those things connect to one another. And it sets up a plan, sets up goals. Right? Because you see where you want to go, right? And then you start forming what you need to become, what you need to do. And when you talk about vision, I think it's very important to see a vision of a better self, right? A better self. Not necessarily what's on the outside, but a better self on the inside. What you can become, the kind of person that you want to become, right? So that whatever is thrown at you, you can rise above. You can rise above. And that's the kind of person that's the kind of vision we want to go ahead and imagine. I don't think a lot of people have ever imagined that, a better me, a better you, a better self. What would a better self look like? I mean, how would that better self feel? What would the better self be saying to him or herself? What kind of thoughts, And like you said, next week when we talk about vision, I think those are the things that we need to focus on.
Yep. How to build. So let me read here. Folks, we provide the solutions. The animal kingdom relies on their sense of smell and their sense of hearing. And I'm realizing this more and more. Folks, if you're not working on the lost art of hearing or listening, you could be here and the solution that you're looking for, and what you're looking for is one solution, right? That will lead to many other solutions. You're not looking for 5 solutions. But we can come in here and we can talk about many things. And I always try to say this, that you should walk away with one thing. There's got to be one thing that Jim said. There's got to be one thing that I said. There's got to be one thing that somebody said in the comments that you can walk away from. So if you're like, I like to say like the cat, right? The cat, you can see the ears moving and they go up and down and they twist sideways, almost like a dish. It's picking up the signals. And when you begin to think that way of yourself and you begin to pick up these signals, your transformation will be fast. Your freedom, your peace, will begin to multiply faster. And again, you're on a journey. Whether you want to think of yourself like a lion or a bear or just a human being. You can think of yourself like a lion. Nothing wrong with that, right? Lion has great characteristics. I do. I like to think of myself, I like to roar. Sometimes I roar. I roar like, not like a lion, but a man versus a woman is different. A man roars, right? Anyhow, let me not go there. All right, let me read a little story for you. We're going to come to the end here. Got the call to action. Give Jim an opportunity. And again, if we're missing you, if somehow we're missing you, please, you can go there and shoot a message, and I'll respond within 24 hours or less. Within 24 hours or less to your email, to your message, and we'll go from there. We'll work on building whatever what you need. There's sources, and as long as you're willing to put some skin in the game, hey, I've put some skin in the game and I love where it's got me. So are you looking somewhere else? The servant, this is page 72 of the Little Red Book. The servant with 2 bags of silver also doubled his investment and presented his master with 4 bags in total. The master commended him as well and granted him more responsibilities. However, the servant who had received one bag of silver returned it to his master, explaining that he had hidden it out of fear. But the master was displeased, calling the servant wicked and lazy. The master pointed out if the servant knew his master's nature, or the type of person that he really is, he should have deposited the money in the bank to earn interest. Instead, the servant's lack of action resulted in his master taking the 1 bag of silver and giving it to the servant who had 10 bags. Those who wisely utilize what they are given will be rewarded with even more, while those who do nothing with what they have will lose even the little that they possess. This is the last of the book here. I hope to see you succeed in the future. Now standing tall at the summit, consider me your partner in achieving freedom and permanent recovery. The Little Red Book. And I even wrote, it's your turn. I was thinking of Jim when I rewrote this book. He says it's time. I said, well, it's your turn. Pretty close. So thank you guys. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the donation there. We do have a call to action. Go ahead, Jim. You've got some last words before I do the challenge.
Yeah. Well, to just kind of finish off the topic of baggage, I think one more mindful thought that I would think that everyone would benefit is focus on and be aware of your emotions. Emotional baggage. Emotions are the stuff that get us to do a lot of the stuff that could be positive or negative. I mean, it's like for the problem gambler, right? What's going on with your emotions, right?
Yeah.
If you're not in control of your emotions, that money and you are going to be parted, right? It's going to be gone, right? Emotions. If you don't have any control of your emotions, you're going to go and find yourself in a lot of trouble. And, you talked about, the silver and being wise, right? Making wise decisions, right? Being emotional and making wise decisions don't really mix. They're good emotions, right? There are good emotions, but man, if we don't have control over our emotions, right? You've been focusing on emotional intelligence, Santos, right? We have to be able to analyze our emotions, be truthful to ourselves and find out, are my emotions out of control? And is it causing me to make bad decisions? Okay, where are these bad emotions coming from? And how do I go ahead and rein them in? How do I rein them in? Okay, so that's just another idea for the second week of this year. Just kind of analyze your emotions, because that kind of stuff can go and weigh you down, right? Too much weight in the baggage that will just prevent you from getting free of this awful addiction.
Yep. And and truth be told, right? Beware when somebody says truth be told. You got to want it. That is truth. You got to want it. If you struggle with gambling, you have to be honest with yourself. You don't want it. That you want it, but you really don't want it. And again, being real, right? Being real. So I'm going to issue the first 7-day challenge. I think, did we issue that last week? The first 7-day challenge of the year, man. Can you or will you challenge yourself for 7 days not to gamble? Will you take on this challenge with Coach Santos today, right now, 7:55 p.m.? Today is the 7th of January, 2024. Will you take this challenge on for the next 7 days? Use a journal, use whatever tool you need. Come watch more of my videos. 7 days. You can get through the first day because it's day by day, right? Get through the first day, you can get through a second day. If you can do one day, you'll do a second day, and you can do a third day. Don't kid yourself, okay? You're a lot stronger than you realize. We are, okay, so we've set this for the next 7 days. And, of course, we're going to be back here. Whoa, did I lose track of my... We're going to be back here again, Lord willing, 7 p.m. Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be back here with this topic of building a new vision. Is that, if it interests you, man, you want to be here, okay? Bring a pen, bring a POI pad, point of interest pad, POI pad. Bring a pen, and hopefully maybe you'll bring a friend, yourself, or a friend. Be present, folks. Be here so you can walk away, man. When you walk, one of these days you're going to walk away and you're going to send me a message. Santos, man, I don't know what happened, but Jim, you or somebody said a word and it got me, man. It got me. Woo! One hit wonder, maybe. No, it took you a long while. It took you a while to get there. That's it. So if you're hurting bad, again, I'm challenging you for 7 days, but if you're hurting bad, seek counsel. Seek counsel if necessary. Seek a therapist, seek a counselor, a doctor, but know who you more or less are getting in bed with. Okay? I hate to say it that way, but it's true. If you're going to go with a doctor, a psychiatrist, a counselor, no, because if not, you're just going to waste their time and you're going to waste your time. And then again, a good coach, right? Somebody that knows, a good coach. Hey, we're all out here to support. We've got too much to give. We're holding on to. It's like getting rusty. Sometimes I wonder, hey, but no, I get a lot of comments and stuff, and I get the appreciation. So I thank all of you guys here. Keven, Mr. Keven, Moment to Moment. Mark, thank you for being here. Laura, thank you for being here with us. Guys, I know you're on the road a lot too. You got to be safe. Out of time. Thank you. And who else? Let me see. There was it earlier? Let me go back. Moment to Moment. Race, thank you for being and hanging out with us. Next week, New Vision. Bill Devine, thank you for hanging out. Jan Patry, thank you for hanging out. Eric, thank you for being with us. And those of you, Jesse, thank you, Jesse. I think he had a birthday. And if I missed you, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday! All right, that's about everybody. And then there was the invisible men and women of the international, wherever you're at. I appreciate all you guys. I hope that you're having a good evening and a great start, man, to this January, because there are challenges to overcome. All right, Jim, thank you for being with us. And I'm done.
Thank you very much, sir, Santos. You have a great week. And I'll see you maybe, we'll be hearing from you on Wednesday. We'll be watching for that interview Wednesday.
We'll launch a preview like we do here, announcement before we get, and hopefully we'll get some people to come in and, we can change lives, man. Change lives. I think that's going to be a big thing for me this year. Really get into changing lives, just pushing, if necessary, to get people to do things. Take action. All right, I gotta go. Bye, everyone. We'll see you guys next Sunday. And once again, remember, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, positive reminders.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.